Act 4, Scene 1. There's matters in these sighs, these profound heavens, you must translate. 'Tis fit we understand them. Where is your son?
Bestow this place on us a little while. Oh, my good Lord, what I have seen tonight.
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and wind when both contend, which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the arras hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, a rat, and in this brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all. To you, yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us whose providence should have kept short, restrained and out of haunt, this mad young man. So much was our love, we would not understand what was most fit. But, like the owner of a foul disease, you keep it from divulging. Let it feed even on the pith of life. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he hath killed, o'er whom his very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metal's base, shows itself pure. He weeps for what is done.
Oh, Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. In this vital deed we must, with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern! Friends, both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet, in madness, hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, hasten this. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. So dreaded slander, whose whisper over the world's diameter, as level as the cannon to his blank, transports the poisoned shot, may miss our name and hit the woundless air. Come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Act 4, Scene 2.
Safely stowed.
Hamlet, Lord Hamlet.
Soft. What noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Oh, here they come.
What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust. Where 'tis kin?
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge? What replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir, that sucks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. For such officers, they do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an ape in the corner of his jaw, first mouth to be last swallowed. And when he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge, you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
Good, I am glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
Thing, my lord.
Of nothing. Just bring me to him. Hide fox and all after.
Or Scene 3. I have sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose? Yet must not we put the strong law on him? He's loved of the distracted multitude, who like not in their judgment but their eyes, and where 'tis so the offender's scourge is weighed, but never the offense, and they're all smooth and even. This sudden sending him away must seem deliberate pause. Diseases desperate grown by desperate appliance are relieved, but not at all. How now? What hath befallen? Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him. But where is he? Without, my lord, guarded to know your pleasure. Bring him before us. Oh, Guildenstern, bring in my lord. Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper?
At supper where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain complication of political worms are eating at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. But we fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes put to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas. Alas!
A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What does you mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go to progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send hither to see. And if your messenger find him not there, then seek him in the other place yourself. But if indeed you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He'll stay there till you come.
Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve, for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready, and the wind at help. The associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet. Good. So is it, if thou knewest our purposes.
I see it's your rub that sees them. But come, for England! Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife, and man and wife is one flesh, and so, my mother. Come, for England!
Follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed abroad. Delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. Away! For everything is sealed and done, that else leans on the affair. Pray you, make haste. And England, if my love thou holdest at aught, and my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet thy cicatrice looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy free awe pays homage to us, thou mayest not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports at full by letters congruing to that effect the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England. For like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me, till I know 'tis done. However haps my joys were never begun. Act 4, Scene 4.
Go, captain, from me greet the Danish king. Tell him that by his license Fortinbras braves the conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom. You know the rendezvous. If that his majesty would aught with us, we shall express our duty in his eye, and let him know so.
I'll do it, my lord.
Go softly on.
Good sirs, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
And how purpose, sir, I pray you?
Again, some part of Poland.
Who commands them, sir?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or for some other frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats. 5! I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or to Pole a ranker rate should it be sold in fee.
Why, then the Polak will never defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of the straw. This is the imposthume of much wealth and peace. The inward breaks and shows no cause without why the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir.
I'll be with you, sir.
Please, you go, my lord.
Well, I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to thrust in us unused. Now, whether it be Bastille, oblivion, or some craven scruple of too precisely on the event, quartered hath but 1 part wisdom, 3 parts coward. I don't know why, yet I live to say this thing's to do. Since I have cause and the will and the strength and the means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, and led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit and divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, danger dare. Even for eggshell, rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor is at stake. And how stand I then, that have a father killed and a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy or for a trick of fame they go to their graves like beds. They fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. This time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
Act 4, Scene 4.
Go, captain, from me greet the Danish king. Tell him that by his license Fortinbras braves the conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom. You know the rendezvous. If that his majesty would aught with us, we shall express our duty in his eye, and let him know so.
I'll do it, my lord.
Go softly on.
Good sirs, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
And how purpose, sir, I pray you?
Again, some part of Poland.
Who commands them, sir?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or for some other frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats. 5! I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or to Pole a ranker rate should it be sold in fee.
Why, then the Polak will never defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of the straw. This is the imposthume of much wealth, peace, the inward breaks and shows no cause without why the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir.
I'll be with you, sir.
Please, you go, my lord.
Well, I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to thrust in us unused. Now whether it be Bastille, oblivion, or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought quartered hath but one part wisdom, and ever 3 parts coward. I don't know why, yet I live to say this thing's to do, since I have the cause and the will and the strength and the means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, and led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit and divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor is at stake. And how stand I then, that have a father killed and a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy or for a trick of fame they go to their graves like beds. They fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. This time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
Act 4, Scene 5. I will not speak with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears tricks in the world, and hems and beats her heart, spurns enviously its trolls, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They aim at it, and botch the words up fit to their own thoughts, which, as her winks and nods and gestures yield them, indeed would make one think there might be thought, though nothing sure, yet much unhappily.
Were good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures and ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. To my sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each choice seems prologue to some great amiss, so full of artless jealousy is guilt. It spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle-hatted stuff and his sandal shoon.
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Say you? Nay, pray you, mark. He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone. Oh.
Yea, but Ophelia.
Pray you, mark. White his shroud as the mountain snow.
Alas, look here, my lord.
Larded always sweet flowers, which be wept to the ground did not go with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God yield you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. God be at your table.
On her father.
Pray you, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is Saint Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes, and up the chamber door. Let in the maid that out a maid never depart more.
Oh, pretty Ophelia.
Indeed, without an oath, I'll make an end on it. By Chisholm, by St. Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock they are to blame, quoth she. Before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. He answers, so would I have done by yonder sun, and thou hadst not come to my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient, but I cannot choose but weep to think they should lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it, and so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. And now behold. Oh, Gertrude. Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain. Next, your son gone. And he most violent author of his own just remove. The people muddied, thick, and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers. For good Polonius' death, and we have done but greenly in hugger-mugger to inter him. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself, her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures, or mere beasts. Last, and as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret come from France, and feeds on his wonder, and keeps himself in clouds, and he wants not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death, or in necessity of matter beggared. Nothing stick our person to a rein and ear and ear. Ah, my dear Gertrude, this, like to a murdering piece in many places, gives me superfluous death.
Alack, what noise is this?
Where are my Switzers? Let them guard the door. What is the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. The ocean, overpeering of his list, eats not the flats with more impietous haste than young Laertes. In the riotous head o'erbears your officers, the rabble call him lord. And, as the world were now but to begin, antiquity forgot, custom not known, the ratifiers and props of every word they cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands and tongues applaud it to the clouds, Laertes shall be king, Laertes king. How cheerfully on this false trail they cry.
The doors are broke.
Where is this king? Sirs, stand you all without. I pray you give me leave. O thou vile king, give me my father.
Calmly, good Laertes.
The drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my father brands, the harlot even in between the chaste, unscrumptured brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person. There's such divinity doth hedge a king, that treason can but peep to what it would. Acts little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell the legions! Vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation to this point. I stand at both the worlds I give to negligence. Let come what comes, I'll only be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Who shall stay you?
I will not all the world, and for my means I'll husband them so well they shall go far with little.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, it's writ in your revenge. That swoopstake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser?
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
To his good friends, thus wide I ope my arms, and like a kind, life-endearing pelican, repast them with my blood.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensible in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment pierce as day does to your eye.
How now? What noise is that? Oh, heat dry up my brains. 'Tis 7 times soul burn out the sense and true virtue of mine eye. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid by weight, till our scale turn the bream. O Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. O heavens, is it possible a young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old man's life? Nature is fine in love, and where 'tis fine it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves.
They bore him barefaced on the bier, hey no, nonny, nonny, no, hey nonny, and in his grave rained many a tear. Fare you well, my dog.
Hadst thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge, it could not move thus.
You must sing a down, and you call him a down owl. How the wheel becomes it. It is a false steward that stole his master's daughter.
There's nothing's more than matter.
There's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember. And there's pansies, that's for thoughts.
A document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you and columbines. There's rue for you, and here's some for me. We may call it herb of grace or Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. Oh, bonny sweet robin is all my
Thoughts of
joy.
affliction, passion, hell itself she turns to favor and to prettiness.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy bed, he never will come again. His beard was as white as snow. All flaxen was his poll. He is gone, he is gone. And we cast away moan, God have mercy on his soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray God.
Do you see
God.
this? Oh God!
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me my right. Go, but apart, make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge betwixt you and me. If by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment o'er his bones, no noble rite, nor formal ostentation. Cry to be heard as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call into question.
So you shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me. Act 4, Scene 6. What are they that would speak with me?
Seafaring men, sir. They say they have letters for you.
Let them come in. I do not know from what part of the world I should be greeted, if not from Lord Hamlet.
God bless you, sir.
Let him bless thee too.
We shall, sir, and please him. There's a letter for you, sir. Comes from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio, as I am led to know it is.
Horatio. When thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, the pirate, a very warlike appointment, gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear, will make thee dumb. Yet are they too much too light for the bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell, he that thou knowest thine. Hamlet. Come, I will give way for these your letters, and do the speedier that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them. Act 4, Scene 7. Now must your conscience my acquaintance seal. You must put me in your heart for friend. Sith you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
It well appears, but tell me, why you proceeded not against those feats, so criminal and so capital in nature, as by your safety, wisdom, all things else, you mainly were stirred up?
Oh, for two special reasons, which may to you perhaps seem much unsinewed, but yet to me they are strong. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. And for myself, my virtue or my plague, be it either which, she's so conjunctive to my life and soul, that as the star moves, not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive, why, to a public count I might not go. It's the great love the general gender bear him, who dipping all his faults in their affection, would, like the spring that turneth wood to stone, convert his gibes to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered, for so loud a wind would have reverted to my bow again, and not where I had aimed them.
And so I have a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises go, may back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You must not think that we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let our beard be shook with danger and think it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your father, and we love ourself, and that, I hope, will teach you to imagine. How now, what news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This to your majesty, this to the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not. They were given to me by Claudio. He received them, of him that brought them.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty you shall know, I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first, asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what should this mean? Are all the rest come back, or is it some abuse and no such thing?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character, naked, and in a postscript here he says alone. Can you advise me?
I am lost in it, my lord, but let him come. It warms the very sickness of my heart, that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou!
If it be so, Laertes, and how should it be so? How otherwise? Will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord, so will you not rule me to a peace?
To thine own peace. If he be now returned as checking at his voyage, and that he means no more to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit, now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. You have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing for a quality wherein they say you shine. Your sum of parts did not together pluck such envy from him as did that one, and that in my regard of the unworthiest siege.
What part is that, my lord?
A very ribbon in the cap of youth, yet needful too. For youth no less becomes the light and careless livery that it wears, that settled age his sables and weeds, importing health and graveness. 2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy. I've seen myself and served against the French, and they can well on horseback, but this gallant had witchcraft in it. He grew unto his seat, and to such wondrous doing brought his horse as he had been encorpsed and demi-natured with the brave beast. So far he topped my thought that I, in forgery of shapes and tricks, come short of what he did.
Norman, was he?
Norman.
Upon my life. Lamond!
The very same.
I know him well. He's the brooch indeed, a gem of all the nation.
He made confession of you, and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier, most especially, that he cried out, 'twould be a sight indeed if one could match you. The scrimmers of their nation, he swore, had neither motion, guard, nor eye, if you opposed them. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming over to play with him. Now, out of this...
What of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Not that I think you did not love your father, but that I know love is begun by time, and that I see, in passages of proof, time qualifies the spark and fire of it. There lives within the very flame of love a kind of wick or snuff that will abate it. And nothing is at it like a goodness still, for goodness growing to a pleurisy dies in his own too much. That we should do when we would, for this would changes and hath abatements and delays as many as there are tongues, our hands, our accidents. And then this should is like a spendthrift sigh that hurts by easing. But to the quick of the ulcer, Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself indeed your father's son more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
No place, indeed, should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds, but good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returns, shall know you are come home. We'll put on those shall praise your excellence, and set a double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you. Bring you and fine together, and wager on your heads, he being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice, requite him for your father.
We'll do it. To that purpose I'll anoint my sword I bought at unction of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare, collected from all samples that have virtue under the moon, can save the thing from death. That is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. Weigh what convenience both of times and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and then our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not essayed. Therefore, this project, it should have a back or a second that might hold if this should blast and proof. Soft, let me see. We'll make a solemn wager on your cunnings. I have it, when in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom stuck, on purpose may hold there. But stay, what noise?
One word tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There's a willow grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. And there with fantastic garlands did she come of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like. A while they bore her up, at which time she chanted snatches of old lords, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element, but long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with her drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to a muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned, drowned.
Too much of water hadst thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears, but yet it is our trick. Nature her customs holds, let shame say what it will. When these are gone, the woman will be out. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but this folly doubts it.
Let's follow Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now I fear this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.